Hey guys, Scott here, and I want to have a very quick conversation about Resident Evil coming to Dead by Daylight. First off, this B-roll footage is by Rareth Links. It was a very cool mock-up he did of Resident Evil being in the game. I'll link it in the description. It's a really cool video and probably similar to what we might actually see when we get it as official content. So yeah, this is awesome. But I wanted to talk about Resident Evil in Dead by Daylight, and I have coffee, so I'm going to go into lecturing mode because you just have to when you have coffee. It's okay, let me just set this straight. 100% I am leaning on the side of it is a great thing for the game. 100% it's a good thing. Resident Evil is one of the most beloved video game series ever, and especially kind of fits the genre of a bit horror and stuff like that. So it is a perfect fit for Dead by Daylight in my opinion. It really does fit well. There's numerous characters they could pick to fit in the game, and it would be, I think, perfect. So I'm still looking forward to that. Now, I myself am not a huge Resident Evil fan. I played Resident Evil 1 when I rented it from Blockbuster when I was a kid. Don't even remember it. And I remember I thought the live action intro was really cool. And looking at it now, it's the corniest thing ever made. But that and the last RE game I played was Resident Evil 7, which I did think was a great game, but that's not really a normal Resident Evil game. It's sort of it's on its own there. So I just wanted to be clear. I'm probably less excited about Resident Evil content simply because I don't know anything really about Resident Evil. What I am excited for is new cool content that everyone is excited for. Everyone else's excitement is my excitement. So that is contagious, and I'm grateful for that, and I think that's going to be very cool. I mostly just care about what the actual killer's powers are and what the perks are. I've always said, it could be an uncheckered, a checkered, untextured box. And as long as the gameplay was fun, that's really all I care about. I don't really care about the actual lore or appearance and stuff like that. But it does help. So that's my takes on the Resident Evil part. I definitely think it is cool, and I'm excited for it, mostly just because other people are excited for it, if that makes sense. But I want to go over the one downside that things like this have to Dead by Daylight. And that is, it basically widens the gap even more between competitors in this game. Every time Dead by Daylight acquires a huge license, Michael Myers or Freddy Krueger or Pyramid Head or whatever is going to be in Resident Evil, people from those fandoms come to this game. This is basically the Super Smash Brothers of horror now. And every new license it acquires, it grows that even more and more. And as it does so, every game that tries to insert itself into this genre has even less and less of a chance, because how are you going to compete with a game that you can run from Pyramid Head and Myers and Freddy Krueger and fucking Nemesis or Mr. X, whatever the hell they're going to add, as, as Ash from Evil Dead, and it's just no other game on the planet can do what this game does. And every time they release, unique content that's exclusive kind of to this game, it just makes that gap even wider. So any game that's trying to be in this genre, it becomes nearly impossible to overthrow this now. It's the World of Warcraft of this genre. You can't beat it now. It has too much in it, and it's got too many fandoms converging in the same spot for another game to even attempt to try to take its place. It's possible. It just would be it's such an uphill battle, and considering these types of games are very hard to make, I don't even know how another game could ever overtake Dead by Daylight at this point. Now, normally, that wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing. If the game is good and it remains on top because it's good, that's fine. There's nothing really wrong with that. Despite all the complaints that people have about it, World of Warcraft is still a pretty damn good MMO. And at the end of the day, sometimes they do bad things. Sometimes they have weaker expansions. Sometimes they have stronger ones, like Shadowlands has been pretty fun so far. At the end of the day, they're the reigning king, and their game is, usually pretty darn good. Dead by Daylight it's usually good, but there are so many more things that can happen to make, Dead by Daylight better. But the main thing is they don't have to do those things because there is no competition. So the end message here is that every time this game gets more cool content, it strengthens their hold on essentially the monopoly they have over the genre. I know it's not actually a monopoly because anyone can attempt to make it into this genre, but it is so hard to overtake what Dead by Daylight has overcome, and because of that, the threat to this game becomes less and less every day, which means the developers have less and less incentive to really do anything and step it into overdrive. So I feel like it just sort of pushes more mediocrity and leaving bugs in the game for years on end and things like that because they don't really have an incentive to fix it. So I think that's the one downside of adding really cool shit like this to the game. It's that it just, it makes the devs not really incentivized to work harder because frankly, nothing is going to topple this shit for a very, very long time. And for the most part, for good reason. It's very impressive what Dead by Daylight has done. But, as someone that loves the game, it pains me to know that they can do so much more with really not that much more effort. And changes like this will really just kind of impress upon the fact that they're not really incentivized to do better than they currently are, which is a shame. But, at the end of the day, this is still a net positive for the game. Bringing in new players is always 100% a good thing. It's never, ever a bad thing. So I'm excited for it. Still a while away. They announced this one really early. Poor Trickster's like, I just got buffed. Oh, okay. Well, I guess I'll just go fuck myself. And that's how that's going. But yeah, I just want to talk about that. There is one actual downside to getting stuff like this in the game. And it is due to the competition being unable to really compete anymore. But that's it, guys. Overall, I still think this is going to be great for the game. I'm looking forward to it a lot. And hope you guys are too. See you next time.